Come on in. Follow me. When we're trying to talk about materials for health and well-being for the older adult, why not go and check them out in person? So we're here at the All Eco Design Center in Wheaton, Maryland, looking at materials that we'll explore for the sensory changes as we're aging. First, I'm going to show you here that we have an accessory dwelling unit that we were working on to identify the sensory change of sight. So your vision is changing, and we want to look through having different values of materials. So we've got this floor that's a cork floor. We're going to talk about why we do that, and then a darker cabinetry, a lighter countertop, and we've got a lot of light in. So as we're aging, we need lots of light coming in. So when you're thinking about materials and where they're going to be placed, if you're doing a renovation, kitchen, bathroom, great opportunity for value change. You want to look at, if you have a darker cabinet, you might look at making sure the countertop is lighter. Okay, so there's a strong value change between those two, the darker brown and the lighter countertop. But what's really even more important for the aging eye is that the flooring surface, so in this case we have cork, which is a natural product, and the silestone, this is one example, or it could be different brands and manufacturers. It's a solid surface material. This lighter color, so in this case we have almost a white, and then we have the cork, that's got a real strong contrast. And the reason we do this, as you're thinking in a kitchen, if you're pulling plates from upper cabinets and pulling them down, and you want to place them on the counter, if there's a value change, so it's the darker floor, the lighter countertop, the chances of you actually missing and the plate landing up on the ground are going to definitely be less. So you will want to make sure that you can think about that. So we talked about the vision change. This is the occupant health. So the older adult, you want to be making sure with health and well-being, you're looking at their health. But it's also the impact of the environment, so the health of the environment. So that's why we're here looking at materials that are going to support the environmental health. When we want to look at having an accent color, so you can see the green wall over there, maybe you want to think that's an opportunity to bring in some really fun colors. So maybe you have different tiles for backsplashes. This one's showing a bit of a shiny material. These are great clay-based tiles. This one has more of a little bit of a honed, lesser bit shine. That can help with light, and you want to have a lot of light, but you want to eliminate the glare. So that can be an option. If you want to keep light really, really bouncing around the space, you can go with a lighter backsplash. This is a really fun stone. It's definitely a marble, I should say. And the challenge of putting marble on countertops is maintenance. So that's why here we're looking at a solid surface material. That's going to be a safer bet. When you're placing these materials, you've really got to think about rounding the edges. Sometimes we call it a waterfall edge. So try to eliminate having really, really sharp corners, okay, when you're placing as you're getting older. So that's the vision change of sight, and that's how we would address it in that accessory dwelling unit. I'm going to take a minute over here to talk about the change, the sensory change of hearing. Okay, so then you want to really make sure your space is optimal for acoustics. Now, a couple options that you can consider. We've got great technology advances within our materials of wall coverings. This is a bio-based, it's got a great graphic on it. These are ones that we can think about placing on the walls. You can go really even more advanced with some of the products. This is one from Carnegie, but you can even look at having something that's going to be actual product with acoustical properties. So not just the wall covering itself and then trying to back it onto a material. You actually can buy a product that does that. So that can absorb sound and really help with a great night's sleep. As we're getting older, we got to make sure we're getting a great night's sleep. So that's what this space is showing. We've got, of course, the cork flooring. Why these floorings are great, they can have thermal properties, so you can actually have warmth. You want to think about falls, so we're trying to eliminate falls. When we do have falls, we've got to make sure that the flooring is resilient, and so a tile can be a bit of a problem, so having something that's got a resilient floor is really helpful. So we still have that in here. You certainly could do carpeting in here that's really low pile, and that could help absorb sound, again with the acoustics. And last but not least, you want to think about what's on that wall covering, on that window. And so we need more lighting, but we need filtered light. We can't just have all light coming in because we get the glare. So in this case, we're looking at shears that filter the light coming in, but they have acoustical properties. So there could be a sheer, this is a sheer fabric, but now we have technology with shears that can help with sound. When you're thinking of the upholstery pieces, so the chairs, make sure you've got great arm elements that are stable. So if your mobility and your touch senses are gonna be challenged, you wanna think about warm feelings, it's comfortable, and then it's stable. So upholsteries, you can certainly bring in for more acoustics, wool. It's a great insulator for sound. It's also a great insulator for warmth. And then this is just a really interesting felt wall element. You don't have to do a really sleek material. You can have warm materials. So let's head on over and look at a little bit more about contrast and different flooring. So in the other space, we really talked about having a lighter countertop when you have the aging eye and you're trying to eliminate glare. That means that the shine on there you not want to have it as pronounced, and we call that in design honed. So maybe it's more looking like this. It can be problematic with some finishes just because you can have stain, but I just want to bring attention that a honed means that there's not the glare versus the smooth finish. Lighting is so important that if you go high light reflecting off of this white counter, we definitely want to have the strong contrast in the darker floor. So we have a couple options here we're looking at with marmoleum flooring. We have a lighter gray, if you want a lighter gray, and then we also have a darker gray. Linoleum products have linseed oil, so they're also going to work with that healthy impact for the environment. When you have the aging eye, you might want to watch when you have a dark floor with a dark countertop. This is beautiful, but what's great about it is there is sort of a movement in it, and I think if you have all black countertop, it can have a lot of high glare. So that's where maybe with these dark floorings and the aging eye, again, try to think about having a lighter countertop. If you're going to have the darker countertop, definitely go lighter in value with your flooring, or do something that's got a little pop of fun color that goes over it. So as we're aging, we're thinking about the sensory changes. We talked about the vision and your sight limitations and the acoustics and hearing. Of course, we have more senses. So we can learn more about that. And just remember, for health and well-being of the aging adult, we need to make sure we think about not just the environmental impacts, but the occupant impact. And don't forget to always bring in the older adult to the conversation. Don't design for them, design with them. Bye.